there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your end of November 2025 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here, Sagittarian myself. So let's see what cards. I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. I call it my Halloweeny tarot deck or Scorpionic deck. So I do really like this deck. I don't know how many people do, however. Some people might have I think the art is so wonderful in this. It's like pen and ink. I think it's just so wonderful. So let's well, look at that. And this is the one I always say this is such a gruesome picture, you know. But perfect for the last half of the month, or when it's still the season of. And I actually, yeah, I mean, I just had a death in my partner's family, and I was there at that moment. So that was that just happened. So some of you may have had the same, I don't know. And it's not to say that this is going to happen. You may be in the midst of it. And, oh, here's a card of, yeah, transformation. Yeah. This deck is a great deck, but if you don't know what the cards represent, you might be at a loss to interpret the cards because, you memorize the cards regardless, but they can always prompt you by looking at the pictures if they're close to the Rider Waite imagery. But I have even, made the mistake with the Roman numerals, and somebody corrected me who saw one of my videos. The heart of the matter is the death card, and this is, obviously, this can be physical death of somebody. But again, this is a focal card, so it means that this is something that you may be grappling with. Either someone, if it is physical death, somebody that did pass away, or that you're in the, maybe it's imminent. And, but it can very well be something else. It could be transformation. Maybe you feel like you are ending a phase, because the death card can be endings, but that means you're beginning a new phase. It's funny, my partner and I are both Sages, and he said to me, I really feel like we're going into this, we just ended this chapter of our lives. So you may be feeling that. And what does that bring up for you? Maybe you're relieved, but there can be a sense of nostalgia or any kind of grief, that is accompanying whatever this ending is. In the past position, we have the Justice card. So the law may be involved in this. Of course, we could talk about, inheritances and wills and all the things that go along with that for physical death. But let's say this has something to do with a divorce, and it's not a physical death, but it is the death of the relationship as you know it, or at least the union, the marriage. You may still be in contact with that person. Maybe you share a child with that person, and that's something that you can't just say you don't want to deal with, because you have to take that into account. But the Justice card is also connected to Libra. And so that might be somebody that you're dealing with, whether it's a person that you were in a relationship with, or if you have reunited with somebody And I tend to think, that it's the person waiting for this, maybe the divorce decree or something, to deal with it, because we have as a higher message the Two of Cups, which can be a card of reuniting with someone. It can also be a card of perhaps committing, making a commitment. But I personally feel that with the Death card, that it's more like reuniting with someone that maybe you and the other person, maybe you're both involved in other relationships, and now the timing is such that you're coming back together. It took the Death card to make this happen, in other words. And while you may be mourning that loss, the Two of Cups says that you can really connect with somebody emotionally. What crosses you is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a card of expansion. Wands is fire energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, all fire signs. And the point is that fire, if you think about the nature of the element of fire, it's very easy for fire to get out of control, because it really feeds on, air and on anything that is flammable, which really means that it's receptive to the fire. It's not resistant to the fire. It's not going to douse the fire. It's actually going to increase the fire. And this is a card that's like blocking the transformation of the Death card, meaning that refusal to grow means that you can't really have that kind of transition that you're looking for. Now, of course, the word transition can be a euphemism for death, for physical death. What I'm talking about with transition is going from one phase of life to another. And the point of that is because you're looking to transform. Isn't it funny how we have this, I don't know if we call it prefix, but trans, meaning change. I'm sure that means change. Transform, change into a different form. Just like transition, you're going from one place to another. One place doesn't mean a physical location, but a time of your life, maybe. And so that kind of change can only come about when you accept what has ended. And sometimes it's accepting it on an emotional level, not just an intellectual level, which you acknowledge. Death meaning endings. If you are dealing with a situation with a significant other that you know is no longer, that's another thing too. When you no longer have that kind of, um, it's funny, I'm getting distracted. My partner's like on the couch near me and snoring. So I just told him to knock it off. He's like pretty much asleep. I don't know how much he heard me. But the thing is that in order to do these things, you have to first acknowledge that you're actually in that phase. And denial is so strong sometimes. So even like with the death of somebody, let's say it's somebody in your family, if that you're dealing with that can reunite you, especially since we're under a Mercury retrograde right now. That can until, I don't know, 29th of the month maybe, but like later this month. And maybe you have reunited with somebody that you have not seen for a while. And that's what happens too sometimes with the death process, is that it brings people together. It kind of, you could even say it forces people together that normally might be trying to avoid that kind of contact for whatever reason. But it can have a healing effect. Anything, with water that we're talking about. But rejecting growth opportunities means that you can reject the ability for you and another person to grow. And so, like, death is the only possible outcome for that type of relationship, because you have to, that's how you know that a relationship is no longer, that's run its course, is because there's nothing more that you can do to help each other grow. This is one of the reasons I think that some couples split right after their youngest child goes into college, or leaves the nest when they're 18 or whatever, because it's almost like a soul contract. They agree to stay until then, and there's nothing left for them to learn from one another. That was the fodder for their growth, was raising children together. But once that was gone, then they didn't have anything. So it's really understanding it at a soul level and at an emotional level, not just an intellectual level. What is coming in is the Five of Wands. Wow, I'm getting a lot of fire energy. The last three cards are fire. Five of Wands can be feisty energy. It can be that there is some kind of conflict that develops. This conflict could be a long time coming. Maybe an example would be somebody in the family has passed away, and now you feel that you have to face either siblings or extended family members that you really kind of washed your hands of, you just stayed away from, and now things are coming together. And it wouldn't even have to be you, Sag, that would be the catalyst for some kind of conflict to occur. There may be somebody else who is trying to push your buttons. But what is so beautiful is that you don't have to go there. You can stay above the fray. And the outcome is the Six of Wands, which is a card of victory, taking your bow. This can be a situation where you are thriving, maybe career-wise, and something, let's say in your private life, might be, turned upside down. These things do tend to happen that way, don't they? You have one area of your life where everything's going great. Believe me, it doesn't happen that way all the time either, where there's always like a great area. It could be when it rains, it pours too. But for some people, they might be going through a phase where their career is really great. And so they're not necessarily that broken up about their primary relationship kind of dying out, because they have something that is quite fulfilling for them. It's not just a distraction. It could be like something that is super fulfilling, that is more gratifying than being in a relationship with someone and you're just not in alignment. But also, this is something where you may be actually blossoming. Maybe that's why they use the butterfly for this particular card. The Rider-Waite imagery is quite different. They have the laurel wreath, which symbolizes success or some kind of victory that the person has attained. But it's also about other people realizing your talents and being able to, it's like take your bow. There may be something that has ended, but something that has ignited from the ending. But maybe you are still, I guess I'd say, playing small with the Three of Wands in the challenge position, and you're not taking full advantage of what this can be. You might see a taste of success in the next couple of weeks that is encouraging. And it could, even if it's on the minor side of things, it could be meant to, kind of give you a hint of a taste of what is possible for you, a taste of what's to come. And you have to be the one to embrace growth. And you don't want to get sidelined by the changes so much so that you don't even take action in a new direction. Because it seems like you will be rewarded for those actions, and and that they will, who knows, maybe they'll have even more potency because you stepped out in faith. All right, Sag, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, be it astrology, the tarot, or both, please click the link below for more information. Take care. Bye.